All right. This is the Ghost AFC. Do a build from scratch. For anyone who doesn't know how to prep mesh. So first thing to consider is how tall your wick is going to be. With this one, I'm going to measure from the bottom of the deck up to the top of the post. It's about 25 millimeters. So I'm going to make that my height. And another thing to consider with this type of mesh, which is this 200 for roll-off mesh, is the grain line cut. Let's see if it can even be seen. Confirm. So this mesh is cut at 90 degrees. Grain lines are going diagonal on a 90-degree angle. If I were to cut the mesh in another direction, they could either be a 135 cut, which is a horizontal line, or 45 cut, which is a vertical line. This is 90-degree cut, which is what I want. And I want to find my scissors. So next thing to consider would be the length of the wick. How much I'm going to actually roll. I always like to go a little extra, just in case, because if you come up short and if it's not thick enough, then it's basically trash. There's nothing you can do. If you're over, then you can trim, and it's fine. So I'm gonna measure out 60 millimeters. I want a lot of mesh, as much as I can fit. Because this addy that I'm gonna build wicks a lot. So now I'm going to cut my 25 millimeter height. Try to cut it as straight as you can. Which I didn't do a good job of, but I'll trim it. So see where I definitely messed up, but I'm going to fix that. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now, still looks a little fat. So another thing you could do right now is hold up your mesh, see where it's actually going to sit. This might be just a smidge high. Check my length. 25. A little under 25. It's a pretty even cut. And my distance is about 61. So there's definitely too much mesh here, but I don't really care. I don't mind trimming it. As I said, I just don't want to come up short. So the next step would be to oxidize the mesh, which is torching the mesh, which I'm not really going to be able to do on camera because I'm going to light my station on fire. So I'm going to clamp it. And I have my cup of water. Recommend that anyone building Genesis mesh should have that cup of water on their station for quenching and quick cooling of your addy. Quench the mesh. You can dry the mesh a little bit with paper towel. Saves you some gas on your torch. Switch it around, torch it again. Run the torch over it nice and evenly. Here's the results. Maybe could have been a little more even, but I'm not really concerned. So now, next up we'll be making the accordion bends, which are necessary for this build. And how I do that is with a stainless steel ruler that's relatively thin. The wick is going to be rolled this way, so the core is going to be built vertically here. So this is how the core is built. I want this to be only 3 bends, mount to lung wick, so it's going to reduce wicking. Keep it under control. As straight as you can, and then fold over. Like so. Then take it in both your hands and push it down gently. You want it to be straight. And now that it's torched, you can really see the lines, the grain lines in this Russian twill mesh. That 90-degree angle, 90 degrees. This is the slowest wicking wick you can make at 90 degrees. It's one of the factors. And it also, the mesh doesn't move when you roll it. It doesn't warp. It doesn't have a lot of flex. If you were to roll it with the horizontal or vertical grain lines, there's a lot more flex and it can warp. So 90, it makes it just relatively easy. So I just move that up to right on the reverse side. So it's like that. Turn it over. And then like so. definitely too... I don't want a big gap. I don't want one monster step. Then fold it over the reverse side. Take it in hand. And repeat what you did before. Straight as you can. So that's 2 bends. I'm doing one more. Pull it up. And bring it over. So I've got my 3 bends. And I'm going to press them tight. If you want to wick more, you wouldn't press it as tight. Like so. Looks good, looks straight. Then you're going to roll it in on itself. Try to get it tight. It's definitely going to happen if you don't go straight. It's going to start to pop out the side. So try to go as straight as you can and roll it evenly. Straight up to the top. And I was taught to roll from the center and then out. We're definitely going to try to tighten that up. And this is by no means perfect, but it'll give you the idea. So now I'm going to torch this again, and I'm not going to take it off the camera though. Torch it till the entire wick glows. Up and down, inside, out. And then I'm going to dunk it in the water again. Quenching it is going to make it stronger. Now to see if I screwed up or not. Is this going to fit? Or is it going to be too big? If it's too big, I don't really care, because I'll trim it, as I said. And it's definitely too big, so that's good. Or thought it was going to be too big. Whoops. Yes, that is correct. Okay, so now I'm going to take some off. I'm going to take off about 5 millimeters, straight line, cut it in a straight line. Which I failed to do. I'm going to give this another torch across that seam that I just cut. Yeah, definitely didn't cut that straight. And let's try again. Alright, not quite there yet. So I'm going to take off less this time, maybe 3. So I don't want to go too far. Roll it again. And no, this is not super easy to do with gloves on. Alright, so it's going in, and it's going in with the right amount of tension. So looks like I got it. I'm close enough. Now, ideally you're going to want this to be straight, the line to be straight. You're going to want it all to be compact inside. This is a little hollowed out. This is a little too fat. So the core moved when I was rolling it. That's not the end of the world. You can be a little bit of a perfectionist and take that excess mesh off the top on the outside. Probably that wasn't super necessary, but I felt like doing it. Now, I'm going to put my coil on. My rope. This is some really great flat rope that is extremely versatile and pretty easy to use, in my opinion. So I'm going to cut off what I need plus a little extra. And I like to torch the rope before I do anything. And my wick. My wick, my wick, my wick. Still fitting nicely. All right, so I'm gonna hold my wick the way that I want it to go into the addy. All right. Hold it like so. Whoa, this isn't fun. Hold it like so. You know what? Might have to lose the glove for this. Then take the rope and wrap it around. I'd like to go 4, but let's see what happens. So that's how you want to wind up 4 in your extra 1 wrap. Hold it. Torch it. And dunk it. Now that it's been torched and dunked, it's a little more easier to work with. Try to line up my coil a little bit. Make sure it's sitting uniform and flush on the wick. And then I'm going to grab it again. And I grab it with these offset tweezers because it's smooth and it doesn't eat into the it doesn't bite into the rope, because this part of the rope is going to be going into the terminals and we don't want it to be damaged. That's my base. Ow. And dunk it. And dry it. And my base always falls off my torch. I was taught to do this 3 times. 3 times. Okay. now fun part. It's all fun. Open up your terminals a little bit. This is our wick hole right here. And let's see here. So this is lined up pretty much the way I want it to be. Give it a quick roll, tighten it up a little bit. Ideally, you would want to twist this in to not deform the wick. But I am just trying to get it in there. And I could tell already that my wick is probably too short and I fucked up. But I'm not that worried about it. Oh, because I'm pretty damn close. It's going to be a lowrider if it works. So what I can do here is I can secure the negative lead. And I'm going to secure it gently. And just hold it in place. Okay? And then, with my wick that's too short, and that's really frustrating. In fact, that is really frustrating. You know what I could do? I could just make this a 3-wrap. And I can totally do that because this is the AFC. That is what is so cool about the AFC. It can do a lot of stuff. I don't know if I like this. I don't know. I could nudge it down far enough. I guess I could keep 4 wraps. Yeah, I suppose that works. Alright, yeah, I shouldn't have given up on the 4-wrap. once again, I'm going to secure it gently. Gently. And one thing you got to be aware of is when you're tightening the leads, especially with a 90-degree wick, which happens to me often, is you get that drain pipe wick where you bend the wick because it's too stiff and the tension naturally bends it. So right now I just want to fix the gap. And I want to look at this guy. Well, that didn't work very well. Okay. Hey, stay focused. Stay. Ah. Oh, it was so nice for a second. And I want to hold it. Not pull it, just hold it down gently. And see if I avoided the whole drain pipe wick. Did I do it? I mean, it looks good now, but I don't know. I think I might have did it. Well, there's definitely some problems with this build, obviously. So, one thing that I messed up was I wanted it to be straight down to the bottom of the deck. It's floating off the bottom of the deck. The core slipped a little bit. You can see it sticking out like a nipple on the bottom there. Never said I was perfect, but I guarantee you that this build will work. I did tighten up the leads properly. This did not bend under the tension. Actually looks okay. I think that the bottom could be a little tighter. But I'll find out. Bring it down in watts. Then get ready for the fireworks. So this is reading at a 0.3 ohm, which is half of the resistance where I want to be. So there's definitely something wrong here. It's definitely a hot spot that's going to have to get released. Okay, hotspot on the top, the worst place to have hotspot. Clamp. Jab. Clamp. And I'm going to dump the whole addy and the whole build in mortar. Feel like it's some extra quenching for it, and also to cool it down from all that dry burning. Dry burning kills addies. So I'm gonna adjust this bottom lead because it is a little loose. Pull it in a little bit. Try not to warp this wick. Very obsessed with keeping this wick straight because then it looks horrendous. And that top lead looks a little suspect. Definitely something up with that top lead. Let's see what we got here. I'll tell you. So it was reading 0.3. Picos are fun mods and they're cheap, but they're a pain in the ass. So you gotta take the battery out to reset the ohms, and my ohms are at 0.58. So that actually kind of worked out. It's supposed to be at 0.6, 0.58. Got a lot of mesh in here. So, not a master, but pretty much what you want. Inside out glow. Now, one step that I often skip is, where do I want to vape this? I think you want to go 1 watt over where you want to vape it. So I'll try 16 and see if it doesn't explode into a hot spot. No, it's actually still, now seeing it under the camera, still looks pretty good. Looks really good. Now it's going a little bit because I'm fucking with it too much. Pinching the top, rounding and widening the wick from the top is a way of doing it. Of fixing a hot spot. And I dunk my Addy. In case you don't know, do this with all of your Addies. All of your Genesis when you're building mesh and dry firing. When you're doing all that dry firing, when you're done, you think you got it, dunk the whole Addy into the water and cool it down. So you don't fry it. And yeah. I'm gonna trim my leads. .59, a little better. Oh man, if I could only get that. So I'm looking a little hot on top. Which is the worst place to be hot. Come on. good to go. And a little more. And that's it.